He threw his mother out of his wedding in front of everyone, never knowing that decision would slowly destroy everything he believed he owned. The wedding hall smelled of flowers and expensive perfume, but to her, it felt suffocating. She stood near a pillar, quietly watching guests admire the decorations, the lights, the happiness that seemed borrowed rather than real. Her son avoided her eyes all evening, and that silence hurt more than any insult. When he finally shouted for her to leave, his voice wasn't just loud, it was cruel, rehearsed, as if he had been waiting for the right moment. People gasped. Some looked away, others stared at her with pity. She didn't speak because words would have betrayed the years of discipline she had built inside herself. She walked out slowly, every step heavy with memories. Outside, she felt the night air hit her face, sharp and unforgiving. Needed the property papers urgently. Not once did he mention the wedding. Not once did he ask if she was okay. She felt a strange calm settle over her as she listened. When she ended the call, she stared at the cupboard where she kept the documents, the result of decades of sacrifice. Opening it, she ran her fingers over the envelope and then closed the door again. That simple act felt like reclaiming a part of herself she had given away long ago. When he arrived later, his frustration filled the room. He spoke fast, blaming stress, his wife, the wedding chaos. She listened, her face unreadable. Then she spoke about humiliation, about standing alone while strangers watched her heartbreak. She didn't accuse, she didn't shout, she explained. That calm unsettled him more than anger ever could. When she told him respect mattered more than inheritance, he laughed bitterly and stormed out. She cried after he left, not because she regretted her words, but because standing your ground often hurts the most when you are finally doing the right thing. Days turned into weeks. She stopped checking her phone every few minutes. Instead, she filled her time with things she had postponed for years. Morning walks, old friends, quiet afternoons with books. Slowly, the heaviness in her chest began to lift. She heard through relatives that his marriage was tense. Arguments over money, control, and power became frequent. She stayed silent, understanding that interference would only delay the lesson life was trying to teach him. One evening, he returned unexpectedly. He looked tired, older somehow. His confidence had cracks now. He spoke about sleepless nights, constant fights, and a feeling of emptiness he couldn't explain. She listened without interrupting. When he asked again about the property, her response was steady, unchanged. She told him love without respect was just control disguised as care. This time he didn't argue. He left quietly, carrying something heavier than disappointment. Realization. After that night, silence settled between them like a wall neither spoke about, but both felt. Weeks passed without calls, without messages, without excuses. She learned to live inside that silence. At first, it was painful, like learning to breathe with one lung. But slowly, it became peaceful. She reorganized her house, donating old things, throwing away memories she no longer needed. She repainted the room he once slept in, choosing colors she liked, not once chosen to please a child who was now a stranger. Every brushstroke felt like reclaiming territory. Somewhere far away, her son was learning the cost of choices he once made easily. His marriage, once displayed like a trophy, began to crack.